In 1916, a Polish Jewish immigrant with $300 in savings opened a hot dog stand on Coney Island. No marketing budget, no connections. Within a decade, presidents were eating there. His name was Nathan Handwerker, and without meaning to, he helped make permanent the strangest food name in American history. Because nobody actually knows why it is called a dog. Not the hot part. That one makes sense. The dog part. The name of a food that billions of people have eaten without ever questioning why it shares a name with an animal nobody eats. The real origin story is stranger, more disputed, and more interesting than anything you learned in school. To understand the name, go back to Germany, not to a recipe, but to a shape. The Dachshund, a dog breed with an unusually long body and very short legs, came to America with German immigrants in the 1800s, along with their sausages, frankfurters, wieners, bratwurst. And Americans noticed immediately that these long, thin sausages looked exactly like the dachshund's stretched body. The nickname spread fast. Street vendors called them dachshund sausages. Customers called them dog sausages. It was visual, it was funny, and it stuck. But there was a darker reason the dog association caught on so quickly. In the late 1800s, food safety in America was essentially non-existent. No regulations, no inspections. And rumors spread constantly about what actually went into cheap sausages. The most persistent rumor was that sausage makers used dog meat. Almost certainly not true, but widespread enough that calling a sausage a dog was both a joke and a warning. People laughed about it. They also half-believed it. The nickname that hints at the worst-case scenario always spreads fastest, because it is funny enough to repeat and disturbing enough to remember. By the 1890s, sausages in America were commonly called dogs. Hot came later, simply because they were served hot. Hot dog. Two words that everyone was already saying. Nobody had thought to write them down yet. Until someone did, and got the credit for inventing something that already existed. The legend goes like this. In 1901, cartoonist Tad Dorgan attended a baseball game at the Polo Grounds in New York. Vendors were shouting, "Get your hot dachshund sausages." Dorgan drew a cartoon. A dachshund nestled in a bun, but did not know how to spell dachshund, so he wrote hot dog. The cartoon was published. The name was born. Perfect story. Clean, specific, memorable. No archive anywhere in the world has ever found it. And here is why the story is not just unverified. It is literally impossible. Tad Dorgan did not start working at the New York Evening Journal until 1903, 2 years after the game that supposedly changed everything. Historians believe the story was spread by Harry Stevens, the food vendor who sold the sausages that day. Stevens spent years telling reporters different versions of the story. The details changed every time. Shortly before Dorgan's death in 1929, the tale appeared in print for the first time. A college newspaper at Yale had already used the phrase hot dog in 1894, 7 years before Dorgan's cartoon, 7 years before the game that supposedly changed everything. The name was not invented by one person at one moment. It evolved from the dachshund shape, the dog meat rumors, and the simple fact that the sausages were served hot. By the time anyone wrote it down, millions of people were already saying it out loud. This is how most language actually works. We prefer the clean story. One person, one moment, one invention. But words emerge from thousands of small decisions made by people who never thought they were making history. Which brings us back to Nathan Handwerker on Coney Island in 1916. He charged 5 cents per hot dog, half the price of his competitors. People assumed cheap meant bad. So Nathan hired unemployed men and dressed them in full doctor costumes to eat hot dogs at his stand all day. Not doctors, just men in costumes. People saw the white coats and assumed safety. The line never stopped. By the time anyone figured out the doctors were fake, the stand was already too popular to fail. Presidents ate there. The name on the sign was simple. His stand did not just sell hot dogs. It made the name feel legitimate, accessible, and permanently American. By the 1920s, the debate was over. Hot dog was the name. No alternative survived. The name you use without thinking. The one that connects a German sausage to an animal nobody eats through a cartoon that was literally impossible, has been on your lips your entire life. A Polish Jewish immigrant who arrived with nothing helped make it permanent. A food vendor may have fabricated the origin story, and a cartoonist who was not even in New York got the credit anyway. That is how hot dog became hot dog. Is this the most successful accidental rebranding in food history, or just proof that if enough people say something long enough, it eventually becomes true? Leave it in the comments. And if this made you think twice about a word you have used your entire life, hit like and subscribe. Every week, we find the story behind the thing you never thought to question.